What is up, everyone? I'm coming on here for a couple of plays for the day. Been kind of a weird weekend, honestly, because Friday morning was not very good for us. Really, Friday was not very good for us. And then this morning, Saturday morning, and I'm talking like 3 a.m., 5 a.m. when a lot of these games are going on. Actually, decent morning for us. We have a lot of League of Legends hits and stuff. We have some three-mans here. And the most importantly, we have some setups, right? Because I feel like we've had maybe 5 setups so far that have just barely missed, whether they went opposite correlation. I'm going to get into these two in the middle, especially this one here. This was an absolute heartbreaker. And you guys will see that we do have a setup going into, I think this is like Wednesday, so we got to wait a little bit for this. And then we have another setup down here with League of Legends. First of all, very correlated. As you guys see, very correlated here, very correlated here. I take one team over, the other team under, and that's how we do it here. And then right here, I took both of these guys on TES, right? These two guys on TES, and then this guy on TES. One over assists, one over kills, because these guys got 22 kills. This guy got 30 assists, right? Because the more kills that a team gets, the more assists that the guy's gonna also get, right? So good setups here. We can cross our fingers. Hopefully we can at least cash one of these whenever these games do play out on Wednesday or Thursday, whenever that is. And this guy's was so insanely heartbreaking. It looked super good going into halftime. Oh, I didn't even know I had this down here. I think this was from yesterday. But you guys will see here that this was so extremely close. You guys will actually see that his number one receiver almost got the same exact yardage that the quarterback did. The reason being is because this quarterback here, Zach Collaros, he ends up getting injured going into halftime. So right before halftime, he ends up getting injured. I believe a concussion. The backup quarterback comes in and throws for like another 150 yards in that second half because they were down in that game. So they were down in the game, so they had to throw a lot more. So combined, the two quarterbacks get like 300 yards. So this guy would have easily went over his line if he played the whole game. Unfortunately, PrizePicks does not give any DMP protection or second half protection for CFL, which really sucks, because if this were an NFL play and this was, some NFL player like Patrick Mahomes and he gets injured going into the second half, they would have DMP'd him and we would have cashed a 3x here. But you guys can see this guy ends up crushing it, gets a ton of yards. This guy goes under his rush yards because they were throwing more than passing. And then again, they threw for like 310 yards or something in this game, but we just got hit with a injury, which always sucks. I mean, obviously it really sucks that he's injured, and then it also sucks that we did not cash that. Here is another one that we had a setup going into yesterday morning, I believe it was, and this guy goes over by just one kill here. So if this guy would have went under, that also would have been a nice 3-man for us. And this has happened probably like 4 or 5 times in a row now. So, if we can get a big 4 out of 4, that would be massive for us. This was yesterday's YouTube play. Really, really missed the mark here. So sorry about that. Honestly, this team, I watched this game, they got absolutely destroyed. And then Derek Mills didn't even really do his thing either last night. He got like 70 yards or something in one catch, but he was not able to get a touchdown. He was not able to get like 3 or 4 catches is what we needed. And he goes under his fantasy score there. So unfortunately, the YouTube play once again misses. Had definitely a rough week for the YouTube plays. Very stark difference from like 2 weeks ago, because we were hitting like, I think we hit like 5 out of the 7 videos or some week, which is crazy because these are 2-mans and 3-mans that I send out on these videos. So again, like I always say, sometimes you're going to get lucky, sometimes you're going to get unlucky, but what is most important is that you have a proven strategy. You track all your bets, and as you guys know, we do win long term. I track absolutely everything. I'm super transparent on this channel. I show you guys all the wins, all the losses, every single bet that I've taken since May 1st, every single bet that I've taken last year. You guys will see what's really important about this is the record up here, right? Because this is over 500 bets that have been taken since May 1st, and we're up 105 units since May 1st. So this has been about like 75 days since May 1st, and we're up more than a unit a day since then, right? And you guys will see there's ups and downs as always, right? There's ups, there's downs, there's peaks, there's valleys, but over time we go up, and that's why all of these graphs that you see, especially this one here, this one's probably the most important one because this one is 2024's performance. So not much has changed really since 2024 to this year. The only thing is that we have not had football season yet, and this graph did have football season. But again, guys, we absolutely crushed it last year. It went up 600 units, and you guys will see these graphs are very similar. This one's just a little more zoomed out, and we took close to 3,000 bets last year. So, again, when you zoom out, some of these unlucky things are going to kind of play themselves out, and then some of the lucky things are also going to play themselves out. And over time, the luck is kind of going to like shrink down, right? You're going to have enough lucky events, you're going to have enough unlucky events to where it doesn't really matter. And what you're pretty much left with is if you're profitable or not, right? It's kind of like boiling water, and like, what are you left with? You're left with if you're profitable or not. And that is what we do on this channel. So again, some days you're going to be lucky, unlucky. We've actually, the past 6 weekends, I believe, had a profitable week in the past 6 weekends. This weekend, I'm not sure, right? Thursday was not so good, or like Friday was not so good. Yesterday, or this morning, was actually pretty decent. So kind of depends if we can hit some like a 4-man or something going into today or tomorrow. But as you guys see, I show absolutely everything, and that is the number one priority of this channel, and to give you guys good bets every day to take and to be confident that they can hit, right? So if you guys do want to get into the VIP, text me the word Bovada and I will get you in for 2 months free. This is a perfect time to join. We have a lot going on this weekend. We have a lot of League of Legends happening now. League of Legends actually just went into its second half of the year split, okay? So we had the first split of the year, and then we had a tournament called MSI, Mid-Season Invitational. So it's mid-season. There's only maybe like 8 teams going into it, but now then they took like a week break, and now we just kicked off the second half of the season. All right, so there's a lot of games going on. Yesterday was an absolute gold mine because there was like 30 different lines on the board. Actually, more than that. There was like 5 or 6 games being played, 5 players each, and all assist lines, all kill lines. And you guys know we crush League of Legends, so that's really, really nice to see. I have not seen that many League of Legends lines in probably like 2 months. So it was really, really nice to see all those league plays, and you guys see that we did capitalize on some of them here. We did also miss some. I don't think I added some screenshots just because it was cluttered, but I think we did miss a couple, and one of them went like opposite correlation. I think one of them even went like 0 of 4 because I took some overs and they went under. I took some over unders and they went opposite. So if you guys don't know what we do here, we do correlation. So we do things that make sense together, right? And that is taking either League of Legends players or football players. This is probably a prime example of correlation here. Let's say this guy does play the whole game, gets 300 yards. If he gets 300 yards, then his number one receiver is going to get a ton of yards also. And then the running back, because they're passing more than running, is going to get less rushing yards, right? So that is what correlation is, and that is what we do on this channel. Again, if you guys do want to get to the VIP, text me the word Bovada, and that will actually be completely free for you. All of these states right here in the blue are legal for Bovada. I'm in Texas. I use it all the time. I know there's a lot of people in California and Florida and stuff, and you can also use Bovada. All right, so the actual play of the day here, we are going to utilize the Dustin Poirier discount right here at 0.5 significant strikeouts. Don't really have to talk much about that, guys. We're obviously going to take him over, and he should be able to hit that very, very easily. And then the second play is going to be Skewmon to go under kills in maps 1 through 2. They are playing T1. All right, T1 is definitively a top 3 team in the world. G2, they're kind of fluctuating between a top 15 to top 10 team in the world. I would say they're probably around like a top 12 team in the world right now. But T1 is absolutely super dominant, right? The only team that comes close to T1 is Gen G, who's definitively the number 1 team in the world in my mind. And T1 is probably that second spot right there. And not only do I think this is a 50-50 that T1 goes and gets a 2-0 versus G2, but the sports books also think that, right? So G2 is plus 100 odds to get 2-0'd by T1. What that means is that they pretty much have a 50-50 shot to not win one game at all. Pretty much lose both games that they play against T1. And in losses, Skewmon averages 1.7 kills per loss. So that would put him right about 3.5. So how I'm trying to explain this is that I think he probably has like a 95% chance of going under if they do get 2-0'd and he loses all of the games. But if it does happen that G2 takes one game from this 2-game series and the series goes 1-1, then I think it's probably still he has like a 60% chance of going under, right? So hopefully that kind of makes sense. I think it's 50-50 odds, and not only me, the sportsbooks think it's 50-50 odds that either T1 2-0s them, so G2 wins no games, or it's the other 50-50, the other side of the coin is that G2 goes 1-1 and they take one game away. So in one scenario where T1 2-0s them, I think he has a 95% chance of going under this. The other scenario, I still think he has like a 50 to 60% chance of going under this too. The main reason is just because the type of champions he plays a lot of tanky champions that don't really get that many kills, and champions that are just kind of there to soak up damage instead of doing damage themselves. All right, so a lot of times, that's a factor of it too, because if a team is winning, sometimes you're just going to have a guy who's just soaking up a lot lot of damage while the rest of his team is doing damage, getting kills, and kind of being like the striker of the team in soccer, right? He is more of the kind of the midfielder in his team, where he is kind of giving out assists and just kind of soaking up possession and stuff like that while the rest of his team shines. That's generally how G2 plays. They have a really good mid laner and they have a really good bot laner that kind of gets more of the kills. He does more of the assisting and kind of the like I said, just kind of being that glue guy for that team there. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, they have a 50-50 shot of either getting 2-0'd, or they have the other side of the coin where they go 1-1, and I still think Skumon under 5 is really good here. So take him at 5. 4.5, I definitely do not like it as much. I'm not going to lie. If it bumps to 4.5, maybe I'll have another play in the comments or something. But if you are consistently dealing with bumps on this channel, I would try to turn on post notifications as much as you can, just so you can get to these videos as soon as possible, tail the pick, and pretty much be good to go with the line that I actually send it out at. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Again, if you want to sign up for Bovada, my number is right here on the screen, and I'll get you in for 2 months free. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.